Welcome to the Emerge Podcast, where Ronnie Doss shares insights regarding life, leadership, and personal development. For more of our resources, visit ronniedoss.com. Now, let's join the podcast.
Hi there, this is Ronnie Doss. My team and I are really excited that you decided to stop by. You know, I've spent the last decade working with individuals from all over the world to help them transform their thinking and enhance their life experience. Not only do I train teams at some of the most successful companies and organizations in the world, I offer coaching programs specifically designed for individuals much like yourself that are committed to increasing productivity and achieving personal goals. I've had powerful mentors along the way that have taught me principles that absolutely shifted how I was living my life, and those principles I want to share with you. My passion is people, and there's nothing more exciting than seeing a life transformed for the better. This is what I've decided to give my life to. So hop over to ronniedoss.com to check out some of the video programs I personally designed to help you build stronger relationships, improve your communication skills, and develop an intentional mindset. I know these resources will assist you in finding a greater sense of purpose, staying focused on what matters, and breaking through old mental barriers. Get ready. This is your time. So I posted on my Facebook page earlier today the importance of time and timing. You know, I think a lot of times we compare ourselves to other people, and we think that because they're producing maybe a more substantial result in the moment, like the results they have might be a little bigger or a little greater than what we've created so far, we often forget the time that people have put in before maybe we got started. You know, when I first started to speak, I would look at the television and I would see all these different pastors, different leaders speaking in front of thousands of people. And I started to get frustrated with myself, being like, well, you aren't doing that. Why aren't you that far ahead? Why don't you have that many people listening to you? And I didn't take into consideration enough. I did some, but not enough. The idea that progress and success takes a lot of time. You know, you hear the phrase, an overnight success takes about 10 years. And that's true. You know, I've been speaking now and doing leadership development full-time for a little over 11 years. And I can tell you that there are times where I still say it's not enough. It's got to be more. And you can use that as a catalyst to stir up some drive and some motivation in you. But if you stay in a place of continually never feeling like what you're doing is enough and you don't give yourself the time, then you're going to be frustrated. And I would almost venture to say that the juice is not worth the squeeze. Meaning you're squeezing all the time, trying to get something out of it, and because you haven't put in enough time, there's so many people trying to do what it is that you're hoping to do, that people haven't been weeded out of the process yet. Time is something that does that, and so you start squeezing on yourself, expecting to have these great results, to produce this enormous success in a short period of time, and the fact of the matter is, it just doesn't work that way. You have to put in the time, and so that's a big part of success. And so if you're listening to this today, I'm just going to challenge you. Give yourself some time, meaning handle yourself with care. Be kind to how it is that you talk to yourself and hold yourself accountable. Now, there's so many people out there right now that, you know, just drop the F-bomb all the time, and they know success because they had success in one area, and then that's it. And they don't really understand the human dynamic. They understand what it meant for them, but I don't know that they've necessarily interacted and done lots of trainings and worked with people and coached people and listened to people struggle. And it's really easy to become an influencer if you dump enough money into marketing, and that's wonderful. You can get your face out there. But I think there's something really beautiful about growing organically and giving yourself the time, doing things right, building something that's really healthy, and making sure that you're nurturing yourself so that you develop the legs to be able to handle the success that will come for you. It does take time. You know, overnight success, 10 years. And in those 10 years, you're probably going to cry a lot. You're probably going to be uncertain a lot, not going to be sure. But it's one of the things that I say many times. You'll hear me say it again and again, is a lot of times you don't need certainty. You just need a little clarity. And clarity to me is just some accountability, something that you can absolutely step into each day, knowing that if you do that, it's going to help you to continue to accumulate what it's going to take to have a large amount of success. You know, doing the small things really well are what makes someone great. You know, the great athletes, the one that make it look so easy, the golfers, the tennis players, the basketball players, the football players, it's like, oh, they make it look so easy to throw the football precisely within a few inches down 50 yards away. They make it look so easy. We see that on TV, but we don't think about all the hundreds of thousands of times that they've thrown the football, right? How many times they've practiced. Same way with shooting a jump shots. I mean, same with a golfer who hits the ball, 150, 200 yards down the fairway to be within a couple of feet of the hole. It's incredible. We don't think about those things. It's the practice. It's the time. And it's going to be the same with you. And so you're going to have to keep putting in the time, no matter what it is that you do. And right now, because there's so much uncertainty going on around us, and it seems like things are changing all the time, what better way to decide? What a better time to decide that now is going to be where you start putting in the time, a little bit each day, holding yourself accountable to what it is that you're going to do each day. And you're going to give yourself the space and the time and the grace to grow. And over time, if you will grow, you will one day look up and you'll realize that you're not where you used to be and that you do things differently. You think differently. Yes, you have some of the same impulses maybe that you've always had. Some things I believe are hardwired and ingrained deep into us, right, as to how we handle money or how we communicate when we're frustrated, how we handle conflict, how we tend to want to shut down sometimes. How there are all sorts of different things, how we go to fear-mongering or we awfulize and we create worst-case scenarios. You may have some of those things hardwired into you. But over time, if you'll take some different steps each day and hold yourself accountable to a little bit of a new normal, you wind up practicing yourself into that new normal, and cool things start to happen. And then, after you put in the time, here's the next part of this, timing. You've put in the time, you start to get ready, you're focused on the process, you're focused on growing, and then the phone rings and somebody says, hey, would you work with me on this? Right? Could we do this? Yesterday, a great friend of mine, his name is Jason Lake, we launched a new television and internet show, not even TV. Maybe one day it would go to TV, I don't know. But it's on the internet now, and it's called The Rewired Gamer. And Jason is a legend in the gaming world. I mean, he owns and started, founder, CEO of Complexity Gaming. And he sold that to Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. And so now the Complexity Gaming headquarters is at the Star, and it's in Frisco, Texas. It's right there where the Dallas Cowboys headquarters are. And so this is a big deal. I mean, he's like the biggest name in gaming. And we decided that we were going to do something together and help gamers, help young people, because, I help people a lot that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, who have had, some hard knocks. They've dealt with some of the challenges of building a business, having a relationship, having children, grandchildren, continuing to create success, health issues, relationship loss, money loss. I mean, I work with people all the time there. But he has a platform to reach into the younger people's world. Gaming is such a big thing. And so, the timing of this now, it's perfect. And it's perfect because we Jason and I both, we travel so much. We're on airplanes all the time that, it's easy to be so busy that you're not creative. You're just working your business. You're not doing creative things to build a new business. And so the timing is now right. And so we're doing this, and we know that we're going to impact people's lives, and we're going to make an impact for people, for young people especially. But the timing was right. You see, a lot of times good ideas at the wrong time can be bad ideas. And a lot of times we're really frustrated because we're like, well, it just hasn't happened yet. Well, maybe the timing hasn't been right. But if you're willing to take a step back from the monotony and from the busy and all the things that you've been doing and take a look and say, hey, is this now the time? I always say if you don't make time, you don't find time. But is now a great time to look into starting something different? Another stream of income is now a time to be creative with what we're doing, to market in a different way, to reach out in a different way. Because, necessity is the mother of invention, they say. And so if you get really clear that, hey, timing's important, and right now could be the time for that timing to happen, this is where I believe opportunities present themselves. And so if you'll put in the time, falling in love with the process, you'll eventually create the prize. You will find what it is that you were looking for. But you got to do the work, right? I think a lot of it is, the book I wrote, Dig. I think like an archaeological dig. They find all these fossils, but, sometimes you dig with a backhoe, like a tractor. Other times you dig with a shovel. Other times you dig with just a little handheld thing about the size of a spoon. And then other times when they've dug down, they're using a brush to brush off some of the sediment, some of the dirt away from some of these fossils. And, there's a process in all of it. Right? You can't just expect this big digging to happen all the time. You can't expect things to just reveal themselves. Sometimes you have to use a brush. You got to be delicate, and you got to look and say, wait a minute, I got to be careful here. I got to pay attention to some of the details. And right now, I believe is as good a time as any to do that. And so I'm going to challenge you today, just keep putting in the time, right? Hold yourself accountable to a specific amount of time each day as you move towards this thing that you want to do. You know, you got to do what you got to do until you have the time and the opportunity to do what you want to do, right? I think that's smart. I think that's wise. I don't like to use the words have to, but you have to take care of yourself. I think that's responsibility, right? Take care of your family. But then you can segue, you transition over into what it is that you want to do, right? And so you do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do, but you've got to hold yourself accountable with time to make sure that you're maximizing the time you have. You create a little more margin, you invest that into the thing that you want to do, and now you have a little more balance in your life. And then as you're doing that, if you put in the time, there's going to come a time, the timing will be right for other opportunities to come your way. So you got to be ready. You've always heard me say the time to get ready and the time to be ready are never the same. But if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So that means you're continually loading yourself, right? Getting your mind right. You're putting good things in and you're practicing, right? You're always getting ready so that when the opportunity presents itself, you can take advantage of that. This is Ronnie Doss. I hope you enjoyed this. Check out my website, ronniedoss.com. We got some new video resources there. Thank you so much. If you're enjoying this, please share it. Follow us on our social medias, Ronnie Doss on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff, right? Follow us there. We'd love to stay in your world. Thanks for who you are, what you're doing. Thanks for making a difference in the world because you are. I look forward to talking to you again very, very soon. Take care.